Hey, we back. I'm here on Mudae, and we are talking about KLs today. KLs, the last thing in the Kakera upgrade chain after badges and towers. Of course, there's a lot of ways of improving your chances on Mudae other than just those three, but in terms of upgrades, they are the three that we go for, and Kakera loots is last. So, what are Kakera loots? Well, you can find your Kakera loots by typing LK, which stands for, I believe, list Kakera loot. And you're going to find a bunch of upgrades here, or maybe not if you haven't bought any yet. The upgrades that you can get are as follows: rolls stacked, which are quite simply just rolls. I have about 7,000 of them, and that means I have about 7,000 rolls. Quite literally. If I wanted to use them all right now, I could. Funnily enough, it would take quite a while, and once you get later enough on, you'll find that you have far too many USs to use them all. But in theory, I could roll 7,000 times, and we've actually done a couple of videos in the past of a few thousand rolls openings. We have disable list, so this does what you would imagine, adds characters onto your disable list, or if you're on game mode 2, it will add characters onto your limb roll. So that's pretty helpful. Means that you can roll, hopefully, more of the top characters. We have Protected Wish. Now this does two things. Firstly, it increases the chance of you rolling a wish in the first place. So at my level, I get an extra 1 in 641 chance of rolling a wish, which doesn't sound like a lot, but actually if you compare that to things like silver bonuses and disable lists and stuff like that, it's actually pretty good. It's going to be better than most of your other bonuses. So yeah, that's certainly worth having. And then the other thing it means is that no one else can claim the Protected Wish for 3 seconds by default. You can toggle it on and off and other such things if you're an admin, but in general, 3 seconds on Protected Wishes. If your server has Wish Protect anyway, this makes it kind of useless. You just want that spawn probability, really. But anyway, this caps out at 499. It doesn't matter how many levels of Protected Wish you get. This will only go up to 499. But as you can see, it's going to take a lot of levels to get there, so you'll be going for a while on that. You've got the Mudae pins. There's now about 2,500 of them. I don't have too many because I haven't rolled KLs on this server since before the pin update. But yep, there's plenty of those. These are mostly just cosmetic. You can add them to your profile and stuff like that. We'll perhaps do a video on customization in the future where I'll talk about pins and stuff more, profile customization. But they also give you 1 extra Kakera per DK. So for example, default DK is probably worth a couple of hundred, and with my current amount of pins here, I would get about 1,000 per day from it, which is not bad. But yeah, you can make that a lot higher. And then we have the ones that are more obvious. So wishlist slots gives you more slots in your wishlist. This is the same as your bronze badge or the KT tower. What am I on about? KT tower, yes. Anyway, it's the same as that. RT cooldown, same as your emerald badge. This is minus 15 hours cap. So that brings it from 20 hours down to 5, which is pretty nice. And then you've got permanent rolls, so this is the same as your Sapphire badge, or the KT floor as well. So that's what you can get from them. Generally, they're all pretty good. I'm not going to talk about too much which ones are the best, because I think it's fairly obvious, but you'll generally think that the ones lower down the list is better, and that's probably true. Perm rolls is the ones you want to go for, really. The RT cooldown and the wishlist slots are also obviously great. These bottom 3 are really what you want. But yeah, the others up here are pretty good too, so there you go. The question really is, how do you get them? Like I said, this is the third thing in the upgrade chain. By the time you are here, you should already have all your badges maxed, and you should have a lot of Kakera in your Kakera tower. Before you start doing KLs, because they really do get expensive fast, you will want to save up about 3 million Kakera. Now that sounds like a lot, and it is quite a lot. It's going to take you a good while to save that up. So you're just going to have to be patient with that one. It'll probably take a few months, like minimum. So there's also nothing really you can do to reduce that cost, unfortunately. So you're just going to have to cope with that. In the meantime, throw all your Kakora into your Kakora tower. Your tower here, you can get quite a few towers with the 3 million, but one command that we have is the destroy command. So this is going to tell you how much Kakora is in your tower. So mine has about 7 million in it at the moment on this server. So you want to keep throwing Kakora into the tower until you have about 3 million in here. So that's probably going to be like 3 towers or something like that. When you've got that, you can run the destroy command. This is not an admin command or a moderator command or anything. You can run this yourself. It does have a cooldown of 20 hours per player, but you can run it yourself. So you do that, you destroy your 3 million Kakora worth of tower. What you want to do is go for the quantity and quality upgrades. This will upgrade the stuff that you get from KL, because getting these perm rolls and stuff is going to be really rare at the start. It's not worth doing at all. You want to make sure you upgrade quantity and quality to max before you start. Now, to upgrade each of them to level 100, which is max, is going to cost about 1 million Kakora. So to get both quantity and quality up to max is going to cost 2 million. And then you want to have 1 million spare to maybe rebuy one of your tower floors, and then to do a bunch of actual KLs to get the stuff. Since you have the quantity and quality upgrades maxed, you should get quite a lot of drops with that last 1 million Kakora, so that's going to be a pretty hefty boost. And then of course from then on you can do KLs whenever you want. You've already maxed out the upgrades. I should say what the upgrades do though. So what indeed do the upgrades do? Well, we can start by having a look at info KL, which is going to give a lot of information on this. Lists all the rewards, which we've already gone through, and explains protected wishes, which is also already gone through. And then we have the upgrades here. Reaching level 1 of quantity or quality costs 2,000 Kakora, which increases by 200 per level. So this is why I say they get expensive fast, because by the time you're like level 90 or so, just buying each level of upgrades is going to cost you like 20,000 or something. It's going to be a lot. And you really do want to max them out before you start, because any Kakora that you spend on KLs before you've maxed them out is Kakora that you could have spent after having maxed them out and got better rewards. It's a waste of Kakora to spend it on KLs before you've maxed it out, because you could just put it in the tower instead, and it'd be much more beneficial there anyway. But what they do, per level of quantity, you get a 1% chance to double your loots. So that quite literally gives you twice the amount of stuff. And then you have per level of quality, 1% chance to spawn any loot, as in the high rarity ones more so, but spawn any loot. So it means that quality level 100 loots are almost half as rare. What this means is that quantity and quality are pretty much exactly as good as each other, because this will double the amount that you get, and this will double the amount of rare ones that you get. And obviously it's the rare ones that you want. When I say rare ones, I do actually mean most of the rewards anyway, because even things like the disable stuff, they have a rarity to them, and if you double the chances of getting it, you'll get about double the disables. The only thing that it doesn't affect is the rolls stacked, because they have an 100% chance of dropping anyway. Every time you do a KL, you will get at least one roll stacked. So I can do a KL there. There we go, I got one roll stacked. It's also worth noting, actually, yeah, you don't have to get a whole one. It's an update that was a while ago. You can now get decimal amounts of rolls stacked. They mainly just happen, the more USs that you've got, the more KLs you've done in the past, so don't worry about it too much. But yes, you'll always get some rolls stacked. They always have a 100% chance of dropping. So if they have a 100% chance of dropping, that means the quality upgrade doesn't help them. Only the quantity upgrade will, because the quantity obviously doubles it. So this means that quantity is slightly better than quality because you get more USs, but that's the only difference. All the other drops are going to be equally helped by quantity and quality, so for the most part you want to level them up equally. But like I said, really you want to max them out as soon as you get them anyway. Don't bother putting up to level 50 because actually upgrading quantity and quality doesn't help you in terms of rolls or getting Kakora or anything. It's completely pointless unless you're then going to spend Kakora on actually getting KLs. And if you're spending on KLs before you've maxed them, it's a waste, as I said. But yes, if you must upgrade them equally and upgrade them as much as possible. I can see the benefit of maybe getting them to level 50, and then if there's a reset happening, doing some KLs then to get some USs to help out with the reset to claim all those high Kakora waifus. Doing something like that is perfectly reasonable, but you want to spend as little as possible on KLs up until you can max out quantity and quality, which is why I say to just put everything in the tower, because the tower is perfectly reasonable upgrades anyway. It's also worth mentioning that these do have actual prerequisites, quantity and quality do. KLs as a whole, you have to have Sapphire, Ruby and Emerald 1, and then the quantity and quality you must have Sapphire, Ruby and Emerald 2 or 3. Like I said, there's no reason to buy KLs until you've maxed your badges anyway, so I would completely ignore the prerequisites and just wait until you've got the 3 million Kakora. It's much better in the long run. But yes, that's just to stop you from wasting all your Kakora super early on. It's also worth noting that you can actually change the amount that a KL costs, as it says up here. Each KL on my server costs 500, that's the minimum. Admins can change this value with KL value. The default is 1000. It can go all the way up to 20,000 if you want, but the quantity and quality are the real expenses at the start to stop you getting going on KLs. Once you've maxed them out, then actually getting the KLs isn't too bad. So you can't change the cost on those, and that's what you would really want to change the cost on, isn't it? So there you go. That's unfortunate. In terms of upgrading them and such, using the LK, KL, US, all of that is down here. We have info pin for more information about pins. So yeah, as always, the Mudae help messages are very helpful. But yeah, that's about it really. One thing I will mention with regards of getting the Kakora, fun little fact, the amount of Kakora you get here is actually proportional to the amount of Kakora that you spent on the KL. So because mine cost the minimum amount of 500, I'm not going to get that much Kakora here. The one benefit of having 20,000 cost KLs is you'll get a lot more Kakora dropping here, which is kind of fun. But of course, all in all, you still make a loss on the KLs. You're unlikely to get back all 20,000 Kakora that you spent, that's for sure. And of course, all the other drops are just as good. So the cheaper KLs is the way to go if you are an admin. But yeah, fun fact there about the Kakora drops. Also, yes, it is possible to get more Kakora back than you spent on an individual KL. But again, in the long run, you won't make all of your money back because the chances are pretty low. So there, I spent 500 and I got 122 back, obviously making a loss. Although, what is kind of fun about that is that it means on TSK you will actually go up. So if we have a look at my TSK here, I spend a bunch of money on KLs. I didn't actually get any Kakora drops there, that's unfortunate. There we go. And then I can check my TSK again. So we were at 14,553,000, now 555,000. So as you can see, I've gone up a little bit on TSK because of the Kakora drop there, which is pretty fun. But yeah, again, it's not a whole lot of Kakora, so you're unlikely to get a major lead off it. Anyway, at this point, I'm just basically giving little tidbits of information, and we could probably be here all day. So I will end the video there, and you can get all of your KL drops after you've got 3 million Kakora, of course. You can go and grind, that's what you can do. Anyway, Bye!